Ripping from the fucking pine. The best podcast on the internet from the bench warmers of podcasting.
Fuck yeah, the worst ideas, the worst takes. We're the anti-Skip Bayless. Actually, no, we are Skip Bayless because he gives the worst takes.
Hell yeah. My name is Josh. I'm here today with Adam.
Greetings.
And today we're going to talk about the NPB to MLB Pipeline and why it's stupid. Or, well, Adam's case, why he thinks it needs to change. I just think it's fucking stupid. But anyways, we'll get to that. But before we do, if you want to follow us on YouTube, you can go to Game Rage Magazine there. Like, comment, and subscribe. You can follow us on social media. Instagram and TikTok, Game Rage Magazine, Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. You can follow Adam at All Gas No Trash Official on Instagram. All right, Adam. So you are the in-house expert on.
How about
things.
the expert?
I didn't say you were an expert. I just said you're the in-house expert because you know the most. All right, about NPB. So don't fucking do your little eye thing at me. So, anyways, you want to talk about the NPB
Sports
baseball.
stuff.
All right, well, go ahead. Give me what you got.
All right. So this is turning into something of like I don't know if it's as bad as the LeBron going from Cleveland going on towards Miami. But a lot of people are pissed off about the Roki Sasaki situation, especially people in Japan who think Roki Sasaki is being selfish by leaving early to part ways to end up in the MLB, right? Mm-hmm. So as it sits right now, he's 23 years old, and in order to earn like a full fucking contract, right? Not a rookie contract, but like a proper fucking contract, you need to wait till you're 25 years old in order to be posted. So when you get posted, people are able to bid on you. And
posted to what?
The international like players, the talent pool that people can get in order to transition over to the MLB, right? So it's like a team.
Is it only to transition to the MLB, or is it to other professional leagues throughout the world?
See, I don't know about that.
Oh, okay. All right.
But in this specific case, when it comes to NPB, the Nippon Professional Baseball League, right? When you turn 25, they're all 30 teams can bid on you. And when you have a contract in line, they get the team that you were on previously in Japanese baseball. Okay. They get 20% of the value of the contract. So for somebody like Yamamoto, right? $325 million. They ended up adding like another $50 million to the contract, basically, so that $50 million ends up going to the Oryx Buffaloes. So it's like an additional expense to compensate the team that is, they're not giving away their player because obviously they're getting something out of it, right? But it's like you're taking away one of their top players for them to end up in the MLB, and you're getting compensated. But
how do contracts work in NPB? Is it like MLB where you have like a set number of years for a set number of money, or is it like you're an employee and like you're just here until we get rid of you or you quit?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you that part, but
because it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why would I need to pay Japan fucking 25%?
20%
or 20% of a contract when it's like, well, what if my contract what if Yamamoto's contract with the Oryx Buffaloes was up, right? Like, what if it was over? And he's like, okay, cool, I'm no longer obligated to stay with this team, so I'm gonna go play over in America. Why would I need to give you assholes fucking 20% to compensate you for what? I'm done here and I'm leaving. Our contract is over.
Because if they leave, I think they end up being on a rookie contract if they go play for any other MLB team, right? They have to play for a rookie contract because they're I think they'd probably be like an undrafted player, right?
I guess, yeah.
So then they have to be signed as a rookie, and then 3 to 4 years they'd be on a team. And yeah, maybe they end up at a AAA team, but they get immediately moved up because they're fucking pretty good, right? So then for 3 or 4 years, your contract is just locked into the team's advantage, right? You're not going to be paid $30 million as a rookie.
No,
you're going to be paid like
league minimum.
League minimum, right?
Yeah.
So that's why you can't exactly just fucking move on, because then you end up playing like if you're 27 years old as a Japanese player and you're like, all right, I'm not going to be playing for any of these fucking Japanese teams. Like, I'm just going to be a free agent and just end up overseas. If you just end up going overseas as a free fucking agent, you might just end up being a fucking rookie playing for 4 years for basically pennies on the dollar.
Yeah, but I mean, how much were you fucking get? I'm sure the league minimum in MLB is much higher than what it is in fucking NPB.
Yes, but you're essentially starting off as a rookie again. And if you were looking for the payday,
then why would you want to pay? Yeah, well, okay, if you're looking for the payday, why not fuck it? Well, again, when you get the payday, that's the other thing. When you get the payday, who gives a shit? Like, once you get the payday, you're good. Like, why would I need to pay 20% of my payday to the team I just came from in Japan? You see what I'm saying? That's why it doesn't fucking make sense to me.
All right. So, anyways,
because like, why would they need to be compensated? But anyways, all right, go ahead.
All right. So with this Roki Sasaki,
what's the issue with this guy?
So because he's under 25,
okay,
he's 23 years old. So under the current posting system rules, he's not going to be able to get his real payday. Like, he wouldn't be able to make $500 million off his contract because he's still considered a rookie at 23 years old, right? So because of that, because he's being posted early, and depending on what cycle he ends up on, because the 2024 cycle for signing like amateur baseball players currently, the cycle ends December 15th for the 2024 class, right?
Okay.
So as it sits right now, the Dodgers sit atop the international bonus pool money with $2.5 million. That's as much as they could sign for him. So that's as much as Roki Sasaki could get, is $2.5 million from the Dodgers or possibly the Orioles, the next in line to have the second highest international pool money to sign Roki Sasaki. But if he waits until 2025, January 15th and beyond of next year, then the field opens up because the pool of money that each team has is essentially like reset, right?
Okay, yeah.
So then that changes kind of everything, where now the Dodgers are at the bottom. They only have like $2.5 million or whatever. And then there's like 7 or 8 teams that have $7.5 million that they could offer Roki Sasaki, right? So Roki Sasaki could stand to make another $5 million or $4.5 million or whatever the number is as a rookie player. But I'm thinking that's kind of shit. That's kind of shit to force players to stick around until they're 25 in the Japanese league when they probably don't want to. I mean, maybe they really do enjoy being in the Japanese, or rather the Nippon Professional Baseball League, right? Maybe they actually like it. But for the guys that don't, why are they getting punished for wanting to leave early?
So then is there a point in which you leave and then you don't have to pay the team the money?
Wait, repeat that?
So like, is there so once you turn 25, you don't have to pay that 20% anymore?
Oh, you do have to pay that 20%.
So like, if you're 40, you got to pay the 20% no matter what.
Well, I think if you're on a team, I don't remember how it works if you're just a free agent. Because I think if you're a free agent, you're considered like a rookie, right? Because if a team signs you, then I feel like you're considered a rookie.
Like in the MLB?
As a free agent, like just not tied to any Japanese baseball team, right?
No, you're not a rookie. If you've been in the league and then say you had a 5-year contract and it ends, you're not a rookie anymore. I mean, you're just a free agent. Like it's not. And again, the MLB has the rookie contracts so they can like
Control
pay you less. Yeah, well, they can pay you less and lock you in for like whatever 3 years or whatever the rookie contracts are, and they can lock you in at that price that's low. So then they can say, okay, you got 3 years to pretty much prove that like, oh, you're
worth 100 million or 300 million,
whatever the number is. Whereas I guess with the Japanese, it's like, okay, you kind of now granted. These guys are getting a way better deal because Roki Sasaki doesn't have to come here and at 23 years old, potentially being at the age where if you got out of college and you'd be getting drafted, let's say, those American guys are getting rookie contracts because they're not proven. Which I don't know what the level of competitiveness between like Division I college baseball and the NPB is. I don't know if those two, if there's a correlation there that, one's better than the other or if they're the same. But if you think about it, a guy from Japan who's been playing, instead of going to college, he's been playing fucking baseball for 5 years. And now he basically did his time there. Sure. Now it sucks he's got to pay 20%, but instead of getting league minimum, what's league minimum, like $500,000 now or something like that in MLB? Probably.
Yeah, but for a rookie player that... Yeah, I mean, if it's
league minimum's like $5 fucking something, I think. So instead of getting league minimum, he could potentially be getting, like you said, $7 million if depending on when he posts in the thing.
Yeah.
So whereas if he was a guy in America getting out of college, there's no way he's going to touch anywhere near that amount of money.
Yeah, so, but that's like for the international pool money that a team has. Like, I don't know what the budget is that you ultimately get in the end. But if you're spending all your fucking money on one player, then that you're on the outs for like literally every other fucking country. Like if you're looking at Dominican Republic for players that are there or Mexico or fucking Puerto Rico, then that's it. You committed all your fucking money to one fucking player. Like the money that's allotted for international players, you went all in on one person, right?
Yeah. And I mean, look, just because he's good in the NPB doesn't mean it's going to translate to here. Sure. Some of these guys, I mean, Shohei, fucking Yamamoto, those guys are like outliers, man. I don't think that's the norm. I think those dudes are like outliers. Those are your one percenters, right?
Yeah, so is he.
Roki Sasaki, well, not yet. We don't know that. We don't know if this shit's going to translate well to the MLB and fucking perform as well as he's doing in, and he's also, I mean, how old was Shohei when he came here? Was he did he wait till he's 25?
Well, he was definitely younger than 25 for sure. I don't remember how old he was, but he ended up opting out early.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this too. So then is it only based on your first contract you get 20% of that? Or is it like that team gets 20% of whatever the fuck you make for the rest of your goddamn career?
Well, I think post that,
your first contract.
I think your first contract is 20%, right? But then if you go to some other team, then it's all you. It's all
free
you.
And clear, yeah.
It's all you. But
man, I just signed a 1 year. I'd be like, listen, if you guys really want me, you sign me to a 1 year deal, league fucking minimum. All right, let me come out, prove my fucking worth. You're gonna give those assholes 20%. I mean, whatever. I'm sure league minimum is more than what he's making. I don't know what he's making in NPB, but like I'm sure league minimum is probably more than that. So cool. And then you fuck those guys for having this stupid rule where they get my money, and then after that you say, hey, I come in, if I do fucking great, okay, now I don't want that $5-7 million because once you come here and you've had one contract, now you don't have to pay him out of the international pool anymore, right? Like it's just that first initial come over.
Yeah.
So then you just be like, hey, because I want fucking $100 million, okay? I don't want fucking $7 million for whatever the term's going to be a year or whatever. I want $100 million over fucking, 5 years. So it gives incentive for A, the guy to come over here and perform well, and B, it gets him more money outright in the long run than it does if he were to sign some contract like that.
So the crux of this episode, or the problem that occurs, is that now that Roki Sasaki is going to be committed to coming to the MLB, right, is that he falls between the two cycles. And sure, it would work out better for him to wait until 2025 to make $7.5 million, right? Money. But his team gets 20% of that. And they're kind of pissed. They're like, shit, man, if this motherfucker would have waited till he was 25, he could have made who knows what the number is, right? Who knows what the contract would have been valued at if it's $100 million or $200 million to have this player come over to the U.S. They would have got 20% of that, right? So
well, here's the other thing. Is there a limit? Is there a cap on? So once you turn 25, then you no longer have to fall under that international that limit that the MLB has?
I don't think the money, the rookie or the amateur. Oh, the money allotted for amateur players, that you're not penalized for that. It's just like straight cash.
Once you're 25.
Once you're 25, if a team offers you $500 million, that's like all. It's
what I'm saying is like the MLB has that international players money pool, right, for each team.
For each team, right? Yeah.
So then once you turn 25, it no longer applies to you. They're not limited to that. Like the Dodgers, you said right now,
because you're not an amateur at that point anymore.
I mean, technically, the second he signed and played a season with the NPB wasn't an amateur. He was, by definition, a professional baseball player.
Yeah, but when you're 7 years in,
so that was the definition. Was they?
I don't know why they came up with 7, right? But the thing I was getting at is that obviously it doesn't work out if guys want to leave early, right? It kind of fucks over the Japanese team that raised this player. So if they sign for $7.5 million. And they're getting 20% of that, they're getting fucking pennies.
Oh yeah.
Compared to what an MLB team is gonna make off of the player, I mean they're probably gonna make fucking rip, right?
What was Yamamoto's fucking first contract? What, $325 million?
Yeah, plus the $50 million for the post.
So they got $50 million off of that.
So for Roki Sasaki to be a generational pitching talent,
good. That's a smart kid.
He said fuck the system.
Good. I agree.
Immediately after, so this probably means that out of the gate, because he probably knew he was as good as he thought he was, at 18 years old when he signed, that he told the team, I'm leaving when I want to. And he probably said, whatever, maybe they decided at 23 years old, around this time, they're like, all right, fuck it, you get to walk, but you're kind of fucking us over because, we're not going to get any of that sweet cash. That sweet posting fee is going to be like $500,000 as opposed to $20 million or $50 million. So that shit's like, that kind of doesn't work out for the MLB, or rather the NPB team. So like my thing, I think the way the posting system should change is that there should be like a sliding scale for both the international pool money that a team has to pay for amateur or rookie talent. If you want to leave earlier, like you commit a sliding scale. So like, as it sits right now, 20%, right? For Roki Sasaki as an amateur player, he gets the Chiba Lotte Marines get 20% of his contract. So it's like if he signs in 2024, it's $500,000 for $2.5 million. For $2.5 million for his contract, right?
Yeah.
Why not have it be you like the burden becomes on the MLB in order to keep players in NPB, because it is like a legitimate league. It has merit to it, right? You don't want guys just to fucking leave every 5 seconds to end up just playing for the Major League Baseball, because then it just makes the league look like shit. Like, oh, why the fuck are we playing this fucking league if everybody's just going to go over there? So what I think should happen is that there should be like a sliding scale, and I don't know what the percentage is, but basically it ends up back to 20%, right? So when you turn 25, if that's the thing that they've decided, all right, fucking leave it at that. But if you're 18 years old and a major league team is like, oh, this guy's the next Shohei Ohtani, right? At 18 years old, you have to pay a 40% posting fee. And then it goes backwards. It scales down. It's like 30% or, every year it degrades by X amount of percentage until you end up back at 20% at 25.
Interesting. I personally think that this is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. And in my opinion, why are we concerned with compensating some other fucking league? It makes no fucking difference, in my opinion, because if the guy wants to leave, he's gonna fucking leave. And at the end of the day, that these guys coming to MLB are not going to affect the profitability of what's going on over here, because people in Japan are the ones who watch NPB. Yeah, sure, they're watching MLB too, but they're also watching their local teams, the NPB. Why should the Oryx Buffaloes have gotten $50 fucking million because Yamamoto wanted to come over here and play in America? We're the real. Again, he wanted to come where the big boys play. Okay, he didn't want to fucking play in this fucking big fish, small pond scenario. He wanted to come over here and fucking play where the real fucking the world class talent is at. I don't think that we should be subsidizing them because of that.
It feels like an invoice. It feels like an invoice for the NPB team to say, hey, we spent 7 years developing these players. Pay us our fucking money. Because if it were the other way around, I'd be just as pissed. I'd be pissed if I were working for an MLB team to find out that a player that we raised through our system that benefited from us, that got our teachings and our resources to make him the best possible player, that we're not getting a cut of his contract. Like, that's kind of bullshit.
By that same logic, the Dodgers sign a kid out of high school. Okay, they sign him to a 5-year fucking deal. They pay him whatever money. Okay, at the end of the deal, the kid decides, you know what? I don't want to sign with the Dodgers again. Should the Dodgers have to be paid a fee from whatever team decides to sign him as a percentage of his contract? Because, well, we spent all this money and resources, raising this kid and putting him in the system. Do you think that should be applied to the MLB?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's fucking ridiculous. That's what the fuck is wrong with you? Again, that's the nature of that. That's called what is, in my opinion, is referred to as the cost of doing business. You either develop this player into something great and you continue to pay them what they're worth, or someone else is going to pay them more because you don't want to do it. And if you don't want to do it, that's totally your decision, but you should receive no fucking benefit of wanting to pay someone less money than what they're worth, in my opinion.
But the MLB does that with the first 4 or 5 years with your contract as a rookie. They control.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is that as a team, I'm talking about as a team, you should not be fucking compensated because, again, that's the cost of doing business. You're paying this guy less money up front. So when he finally proves that he's worth money and you're like, I don't want to pay him as much money, so we'll let him go fucking get more money from another team. But I don't think you as a team should be compensated because you didn't want to pay him what he was worth when he proved he was what he was worth and someone else wanted to give him more money. Just like at the
maybe it's not even the case that the Marines don't want to pay him his
Either
due.
way, he wants to come where
he wants
true
to go
talent
play.
is.
He wants to go play where he wants, which is understandable. But I don't think it's because they don't want to pay what he wants. It's just because
he wants to play where the real challenge is, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think he should have to fucking pay a penalty because of that. I don't think he should pay 20% of what he's going to get paid because of that shit. That is literally like slavery. Or indentured servitude. That's literally what it is. Oh, you know what? The slave master. You want to go work for another slave master? Well, guess what? That slave master, you got to pay me 20% of whatever that slave master is going to give you. Like, you got to give me 20% of your slave rations in compensation for me losing a slave, essentially. Fuck that, all right? That's bullshit. I think this posting system, it's
like the WWE when it was rising through the climate of wrestling.
Yeah, it's competition.
They're like, oh yeah, let me just absorb everything fucking else.
Yeah.
And let's just bankrupt. Let's just make every other company fucking look illegitimate. For the sake of competition, to really raise the best players, I think parity needs to fucking exist. And I think that's why NPB needs not to get bankrupt by their players just outright leaving when they did have something of a role to developing this specific player. Okay, all right, so every fucking player that comes through MPB doesn't contribute to the posting fee if it's just fucking zero and they don't get shit and everybody just fucking leaves. Well, what does that do for the other teams? They're like, well, fuck, well, why are we sticking around here? Then it just means that the MPB, like, maybe it just ultimately dissolves because nobody wants to fucking play at this fucking league because, well,
here's why
the real competition, the real money is in MLB.
All right, let me tell you why that.
If you want to grow the sport, I think it has to be legitimate on all ends, and it has to be on equal grounds for all leagues. I mean, yeah, MPB is never going to be fucking MLB in terms of popularity, but I think if in order to grow the sport, like there has to be value in fucking every league that exists in the world. That's my opinion.
Here's the thing. The local people, this is why it'll never fucking happen. A, because there's a limited number of, there's only 32 teams in the MLB, right?
30
teams with what? Fucking, what's the roster on the MLB team? 30, is it 30 something?
It's 26 people, 26. But it's like total like 40.
Yeah, 40-man roster, right? Okay. So 40 times fucking 30 is what? 700? So there's 700 guys.
40 times 30?
Yeah, isn't that what it is? Or is that 7? I don't know math. I'm an idiot. That's 700, right? Yeah.
No.
Or no, it's 7,000. I don't know.
No, you're fucking wrong.
What's the number?
40 times 30,
no,
right?
It's 12. It's a 12. I think I added it.
40. So you said 40 times
30. Yeah, what's the number?
Yeah, it's 1,200.
Okay, so there's 1,200 guys per year in the world that are allowed to be on MLB teams. Okay?
Yes.
In the league, okay? The MLB does not have the system or the resources to accommodate if everyone in Japan decided, oh, we're all going to just try to go play for the MLB. Well, guess what? No, you're not. No, you're fucking not. Because they can only take 1,200 fucking guys to have on an MLB team. And sure, maybe you multiply that and you figure in with their minor league system, their farm systems, you can take guys in. Sure, maybe it's 20,000 guys in the in the world can be, well, there's a capacity for like 20,000 people to be signed to an MLB team and be in some point of their system, right? Of their farm system or whatever. So that system's already capped. Like it's already fixed. Like there's no increasing that system. So if you have an influx of guys coming from Japan that want to try to make this money because they're not going to be having to get paid these fees or whatever, it'll still never happen. They're only going to take 20,000 people a year. And it's not like they're going to dump a shit ton of guys just to take in a few extra Japanese players that maybe could be better, or maybe even what are they going to take an unproven Japanese high school student that just graduated and draft him to a rookie contract instead of an American kid who, again, has played baseball in the system in which baseball is played here in America and has proven, okay, there's potential here. There's proven potential. I don't think there's going to be any kids out of high school getting drafted by the MLB in Japan if this system were to go away. Because at this point, if you were an MLB kid and you wanted to, or if you were a Japanese kid and you wanted to come play for the MLB direct and not even go to the NPB, you could do that and pay nobody any fees. Because who are you going to fucking pay? You weren't on a team. You ain't got to pay nobody. So, but the reason why that doesn't happen is because the MLB ain't interested in fucking signing high school kids out of fucking any foreign countries because they need to prove themselves, which is why they let them play in their systems for 5 years or whatever, 4 or 5 years, however long, until they say, okay, the MLB is essentially using the foreign professional baseball leagues as an international farm system, essentially, where they have to pay no money. They're not paying this guy's salary, none of that shit. We're going to use this as a farm system, look at their stats. And again, there is still a huge risk on the whatever MLB team is going to sign him as part, because no matter how much money you're going to pay this guy, even if it's for a rookie contract, let's say, and you're making league minimum, that's still an abject risk that the team is taking to play for a guy that is, you have no idea how he's going to perform when he comes here. Because again, the pace and the play and the style of baseball in other countries is different. It's not the same. It's not a one-to-one fucking comparison in terms of the type of people that play there, in terms of what they're capable of, the talent level. It's very different across the board throughout the world. America is the number one premier fucking baseball league, which is the MLB. There's no doubt about it. That's the top tier, highest level of baseball that you can play in the world. In terms of like professional sport for baseball. There's no other league that comes close to the MLB in terms of sheer talent, right? So that's where everybody's going to want to go. But the MLB is a closed circuit system. You're not just going to get all these international assholes jumping in just because, nobody's going to be paying fees. If they got rid of this posting system and just said, hey, anybody can come play in the MLB or put themselves into the draft to be drafted or whatever you want to say it, or put themselves in to get sent over to the MLB at any time and no one has to pay any fees, you're not going to see this huge influx of Japanese guys coming in. Sure, it may be a little higher than normal, what would normally be around, because I do think that the thing you were talking about with the system of like limiting how much each MLB team can spend every year on international pool or international players, I think that's good for an internal regulation for the league, so that
Yeah, it prevents.
You're not going to go and pick up like a Dominican. You're not going to go buy a whole Dominican team and just be like, oh, we're going to just have a whole team of Dominican guys that fucking are, like 30. They're like 30 fucking years old and they're seasoned, but we're going to say that they're fucking 19 or whatever, right? Like, because you could do that.
Yeah, I mean, the international pool money is basically a way to control. It prevents the Dodgers from just being the top, or pretty much any team that's anybody.
Yeah, taking all the top guys.
You're taking all the top guys. It's like, okay, this is the only money that you're allotted to signing a player. You can't just throw $500 million at a rookie and say that he's yours, because then it just turns into a bidding war. Like, the teams that are smaller markets are just going to get priced out in every situation. Yeah. So that's why I think maybe, I mean, aside from your point, if we're just talking about like what it would take to make things better, if it were to come to a situation, like especially with this Roki Sasaki thing, that if a team feels like they need to be compensated more fairly, if a player walks away, earlier than they should, that my theory is that you have a sliding scale.
Like the tier, yeah, it's like a tier.
You have a sliding scale, a percentage of what a posting fee is going to be.
Yeah.
If you have it be 40% from the get-go at 18 years old, you want a rookie Roki Sasaki. It's 40. I'm just making up a random number. Maybe there's a fair number, but it's basically to discourage any MLB team to say, all right, you want Roki Sasaki at 18 years old, and you want to just use the budget of a proper MLB team, like what if it's $1 billion? All right, go ahead and pay him 40% of what the contract's value. You want to pay him $100 million? All right, you owe him the Chiba Lotte Marines $40 million, right? That's 40%, right? So then I think it's a way to curb teams just like, just poaching talent right away. You would essentially encourage MLB teams to be like, all right, we know this kid's the shit, but we need to keep him here long enough to prove his worth. Like, okay, obviously he wants to go play for the MLB, right? At 18 years old. Well, it's not going to happen unless you want to pay the extreme cost of a 40% posting fee of the contract. You can go ahead and do that, but it's going to cost you a lot of fucking money, especially for an MLB team's budget.
It's going to cost a lot of money.
So you could leave at any fucking time you want, but it's going to cost you a fucking arm and a leg, right? Mm-hmm. And I think you should also, there should be a sliding scale depending on where they're at. I feel like you should also be punished for the international pool money. So the further you get closer to 25, you're also committing a bit of your international pool money. Mm-hmm. So if it's at 18 years old, then you're going to be committing some of your international pool money to pay for his contract, but you're also going to be paying some of an MLB team's budget, including with that, so that you don't just fucking get to buy international pool players, but you're also not going to just be able to pick up whoever the fuck you want based on an MLB team's budget for players.
True.
Like, it's general. Yeah. So what do you think about?
Well, think about this then. Okay, so people are fucking creative in their assholes, right? So like, what would stop somebody, let's say, from evading the system altogether?
Yeah. So like we're talking about gaming the system.
Well, like Roki Sasaki right now saying, like, going to whoever and saying, hey, listen. Let's say he goes to the Dodgers and he's like, listen, man, because you can fucking have conversations with these teams.
You can't.
Why not?
Because
once you get into the pool, can't you then?
It's colluding. It's like there are rules for that. Like, the Dodgers could talk to Roki Sasaki about fucking anything, right?
Okay.
But they can't set up deals before they even have their fucking, if they were actually going to sign them, but they talked about it 4 years ago. Like, oh yeah, well,
no. I'm not saying that. Yeah. What I'm saying is, like, right now, once he gets put into the system, all right, and he's getting courted by teams.
Yes.
Okay. Let's say the Dodgers are one of them.
Okay.
And he says, hey, listen, I don't want to fucking, like I said earlier, I don't want to pay a shit ton of money of my percentage to these guys, because fuck them. Why don't you sign me to a league minimum contract, which is able to be done, and then you don't have to pay them. You just pay them fucking 20% of my league minimum, and that's cool. I'm cool with eating that. That's not a big deal. I'll eat it, and then you sign me to a 1-year deal, and then fucking nobody has to pay a shit. Like if they would have fucking if Yamamoto would have been he got the Dodgers to eat the fucking $50 million, but if you are like this Roki Sasaki, just say, listen, you've only got a limited amount of money. This is a great risk factor for everyone involved. It makes the guy come here and prove himself, and then you don't have to pay these other teams barely any fucking money, and then at the end of it, he's free and clear to negotiate whatever the fuck he wants on his next contract the next year.
Yes, but it's also like 4 or 5 years after the fact that he signed. So it's like, if you wanted to game the system, because now let's just say the rules change to what I'm recommending, right?
It's 40% or whatever it is.
Yeah. So then guys are gonna be like, fuck that. I'm not gonna get drafted by the NPB because then I'm basically getting punished to join, right? So then, all right, you go about your own way and you decide, I'm going to go to college in the U.S. and then I'll get drafted in the MLB draft, which is proper.
I don't got to pay anybody anything.
But then you're setting yourself back because now you have to sign a rookie contract for 4 or 5 years. And so it's like you're getting punished for coming here and gaming the system. Or maybe you're 18 years old and you go as an undrafted player and sign to a AAA team. And then you work your way up. So why not just wait the 3 or 4 years or the 2 or 3 years, build up your resume, your accolades in MPB, then fucking try to game the systems. See, I feel like this whole thing kind of, I don't know. I think I definitely think it's going to change the posting system because I don't think, at least for Japanese teams, that they're like, well, shit, we had one of our best players probably in the last decade going to the league, and he's going for pennies on the dollar, and we're not going to get shit off of this. I'm pretty sure by the end of next year, like pretty much right around this time, something's going to be decided. Like, you know what? This posting system's fucking dog shit. We can't, it is
dog shit. They need to just get rid of it altogether, in my opinion, and just you don't even need a posting system. Or have the posting system be, okay, if a player wants to declare his intention to be available for MLB service. All right. You can do that whenever the fuck you want. And then, okay, sure. I think there should be a penalty if you're under contract with a team and you want to do that. Yes. Then I see what you're saying. That I think that would be okay because then you're breaking your contract and there's got to be a penalty for that. Now, if you wait until your contract is up,
you're free to go.
You can do whatever the fuck you want. You ain't got to pay nobody any money.
Yeah.
And that's the end of it. That's how I think it should be.
Yeah.
Fair is fair. But anyways. Fuck the system. This system's whack. So you're predicting by next year this is going to be changed. They're going to change this.
Yeah, I think based on just how much.
What is the controversy though of this? Is it because he's
because they're seeing it as him being selfish that he's only done 5 years in MPB, right?
Okay.
And sure, he's been one of the better pitchers in MPB. But he also hasn't won the numerous awards that Yamamoto achieved. He got back-to-back Sour awards, which is like the equivalent of the Cy Young, right? So then that allowed him to build merit on his talent, right? So when he comes here, it's like, all right, $325 million seemed like a fucking a lot, but then you look at the fact that they won the World Series and he contributed to that. All right, it's justified. This guy's coming over here younger with seemingly less accolades, and it's obviously for like selfish reasons, but it's like, I'm on your side when it comes to players that like, yeah, fuck whatever the team says. Like, if you're here to prove you're the best, like, where are you going to go? You're going to go to the fucking MLB.
Yeah.
Like, so why the fuck does it matter what a team says? Okay, sure, you're under contract for X amount of years for this team. You want to go to the MLB? There should be no punishment for like that. You should just go wherever you want.
Well, but also by that same token, the people calling him like selfish or whatever, you're just a fucking idiot. What people that are saying it's selfish? What do you? Oh, I'm sorry. Does he have to live his whole career in service of others? Like Are you not allowed to do whatever the fuck you want to do? Like, why should... Oh, you don't have as many accolades. Okay, well, he's not a $325 million fucking player right now because he doesn't have those accolades. Okay? The accolades just get you more fucking potential money. But here's the other thing. That's a risk on his part, too. What if he doesn't win those accolades? Right? What if he stays another 2 or 3 years and doesn't win the NPB Cy Young 3 years in a row? What if he doesn't win that? And again, that's what's saying is there's tiers of levels, and I think Shohei, Yamamoto, they're skewing the tiers right now because now everybody thinks that everybody's going to be a fucking caliber level of that. Shohei Ohtani is the $1 billion man, right? That's an outlier. That's not going to be. There's not going to be a bunch of dudes coming from Japan getting fucking $100 million a year over 10-year contracts. It's not going to happen.
Yeah,
it's not going to fucking happen. There's not going to be a bunch of dudes from Japan coming over here and getting $325 million contracts over what? What's Yamamoto's contract? 5 years?
No, it's like a decade plus.
Okay, there's not even going to be guys getting those level of contracts here.
Yeah,
those guys are outliers. Roki Sasaki will come here and he'll make a good amount of money. Okay, he'll make a good living. He's not going to make that kind of money.
Well, not yet.
Well, maybe again, that's the difference. If he comes here and proves himself and does well, then he can become that guy. But it's not going to be. Oh, there's not a bunch of guys in the NPB that are going to have that. They're skewing the tiers. There are tiers of level of players. There's your S tier, which is like your Shohei, and then you got maybe like your A or B tier, which is like where Yamamoto's at, and then you got this kid where he's maybe in like your C or your D tier of Japanese player that's going to be brought over to America. He's not worth a shit ton of money. Even if he waits 2 or 3 years, he may not be worth $325 million.
I don't think it's the talent. The talent's obviously there, but the other problem was the numerous criticisms that have been said about him is that he's injury prone, which he hasn't played like a full fucking season since he's fucking. So it's like
that's a risk.
Yeah. So it's like the kid is basically gambling on himself to come here as a rookie, which is fucking ballsy as fuck. Because if he doesn't perform here, then he's not going to get that contract.
No.
So he's going to shoot himself in the foot, as opposed to waiting 2 additional years and playing full seasons in Japan and
that's true.
Figuring shit out. He could have gotten the guaranteed money knowing his arm is probably going to fucking deteriorate.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, that's the MLB's problem. Like, you know?
Yeah.
But now he's coming here and wants to prove his worth. And if his arm falls off in those 4 or 5 years that he's a rookie, oh, man, that is... Well, actually, it's not even that bad because they're signing him for a rookie contract. But for him, if by the end of it, if his arm falls off, well, he's fucking shit out of luck.
Yeah, but also if they get him to pay him fucking $5 or $10 million or a year or whatever for a couple of years, and then his arm falls off, well, still he made out of his money.
Yeah, and I'm sure like the money that he's going to make is not really off of the contract. Well, obviously it's not going to be off the contract. It's going to be off of the number of endorsements he'll make. I think, if anything, like I hate to say it, but I think the Dodgers have the best chance of signing him, even with the fact that let's say he comes in the 2025 class for the international players. Okay, so what? This motherfucker signs for $7.5. Let's say the most money he can make off of his rookie contract is $7.5 million, right? Who the fuck cares if he signs for $7.5 million? He signs with the Dodgers for $2.5 million, but the money that he actually makes is off of the endorsements that he makes. So it's like, what does the millions of dollars really mean if like the most money he's gonna make immediately is off of his own personal brand? I don't think that motherfucker is gonna go play for the Tampa Bay Rays or the fucking Detroit Tigers. Like, I don't know.
Maybe with Disney building this new stadium for the Rays and it's gonna be all digital and sweet, maybe he's into that. Maybe he's like, oh, that'd be cool to play there.
What?
Yeah, you didn't hear about that?
No.
Okay, so the fucking Disney owns the Tampa Bay Rays now. Okay, and then what they're doing is they're building a stadium at Walt Disney World that they're going to move them to. And they said the stadium is going to be the first of its kind where everything is digital, everything is screens. So their plan, which this is genius, is they're going to...
The Tampa Bay Rays?
Yeah. The Tampa, or I don't know if it's going to be, they're called something now. Like, I don't know if they're going to be called that. They were talking about calling them the Disney D23s or something like that. I don't know, which is stupid. But
could end up playing home games at Disney.
Yeah, they're going to. Like that's already pretty much been like confirmed. Like that they're gonna like Disney is already building out the space and they're removing space to build the stadium for the fucking thing. And then their whole concept is what they want to do to fucking merchandising is every home game is gonna be a different themed jersey. So like every home series is gonna be like, oh, it'll be Star Wars themed, and the Rays will have like a Darth Vader themed jersey, and then they're gonna sell those themes. I've seen like mock-ups of them and stuff, and it's fucking crazy. Like Disney is fucking like, I wish they would have bought the Angels again and made them so, because they're gonna dump a shit ton of money into this shit. Devil Rays, or whatever the fuck they're... Man, Devil Rays was a good fucking name, too. Tampa Bay Devil Rays. But now they're just the Rays.
Split between Disney and Tropicana.
Yeah,
wait, what?
You go. There's like... Disney's involved. Like, they're an owner, or I don't know if they're the majority owner now or something. Like...
They're for spring training. I don't think they're going to... in the meantime, while Tropicana, if it's going to be rebuilt, they're going to throw that shit back.
Nah, they're fucking... Disney's doing it at fucking... Disney's gonna do it, I'm telling you right now.
No, they're not.
Disney World is gonna fucking do it. Why would they not?
No,
it says in 2028, the Rays are playing in a new stadium. Is what it says. Their deal is up, and they want a new stadium. And Disney is gonna be doing
I don't see anything that says that. It just says that they're gonna be splitting time between spring training at the Steinbrenner Field, the fucking spring training for... The spring training location for the Yankees, but I don't see where it says anything about Disney. I don't know. I have to look into that.
Yeah, there was some shit that I saw. Fucking yeah, because their stadium got fucking destroyed from the fucking.
What a shit stadium too. I fucking hate that stadium.
It is. Tropicana Field is fucking.
Looks terrible, like a prison. Looks like a fucking prison of a baseball stadium.
It is a prison. That's actually what they. It's actually what they do. Where is it? Fucking.
All right,
this thing's not opening. I found the article, but whatever. But anyways.
All right.
That was it, I guess.
All right. Well, that's the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Give your balls a tug. Maybe we'll have some Roki Sasaki news by who the fuck knows when they're gonna post him. So I'm sure we'll be talking about that at some point. But also, I might have another episode for sports.
Oh, sweet. All right. Well, fuck it. Let's do that. All right. Well, go check out, guys. This turned into a long one.
Yeah.
But it was good. It was well deserved, I think, because the topic was good. But anyways, all right. Game Rage Magazine on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Fucking All Gas No Trash Official. Whatever. Just fuck off. Just go do it. Just go fucking follow me. Goodbye.
That was Chirpin' from the Pine, the Game Rage Sports Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Game Rage Magazine. Follow us on X at Game Rage Mag. You can go to our website, www.gameragemagazine.com.